Hey guys, we're going to start learning about rocks and minerals today. So I have all these books, and these books, and you can kind of tell these are a classroom favorite because they are falling apart. We have stapled them back together. These are the kids' favorites. And what's sad is we were planning on going on a field trip to Emerald Village, which is in Little Switzerland, Spruce Pine, to go gem mining and to go in their big cave of how they get rocks, and we learn all this information, and it is my favorite field trip. And we didn't get to go this year, so I thought it would be fun to do a rocks and minerals lesson. So I'm just going to read a few pages of this book, Rocks and Minerals, and I'm going to show you some cool rocks I have. Rocks are all around us. Have you ever wondered where all these rocks come from? What are rocks made of? Well, here's your chance to become a rock star and discover the wonderful world of rocks. Let me turn this a little bit. All right. So look at these pages. Scientists who study rocks are called geologists. They study all about rocks and the minerals that are in rocks. Geologists have learned over 2,500 different minerals that are in rocks. Look at the different. Some rocks are only made of one mineral, and other rocks have many minerals inside them. Here are different ways rocks are used. Buildings, there are 3 different types of rocks. 3. Let's learn about them. An igneous rock, metamorphic rock, and sedimentary rock. And we're going to learn why there's 3 different types and what makes them that certain kind. So igneous rock, this first one we learned, igneous rock. See if you can see the picture clue of how igneous rocks are formed. What is that? So this is a volcano, and it says, igneous rocks form as hot liquid rock called magma from a volcano cools. So when the magma comes out hot, and it cools down, it forms rocks. And those kinds of rocks are called igneous rocks. If the magma cools slowly, the rock often forms large crystals. When hot magma cools underground, it usually cools very slowly. Igneous rocks that form inside the earth often have large crystals. Granite, right here, is an igneous rock. It is formed from the magma from a volcano. That is so neat. Ooh, look at this one. Man. When hot magma reaches the surface of the earth, geologists call it lava. Unlike the magma inside the earth, lava comes out on above the Earth's surface, and it cools very, very quickly. As the lava cools, it will make hills and mountains called volcanoes. These form on the surface of the Earth and can also form underwater. The most common rock in the world is called basalt, and it is formed from lava. Those type of rocks right here, the most common rock in the world, and it makes up most of the Earth's crust under the ocean. So igneous rocks, hot magma, when it cools, it forms igneous rocks. All right, metamorphic. You guys look at this cool rock while I read. Metamorphic rocks are rocks that have changed their form. They're usually way deep inside the earth, and when they get heated and squeezed by the rocks around them, they change. Metamorphic rocks have their minerals squeezed so much that it looks like they came out of a tube of toothpaste. So deep inside the ground, metamorphic rocks are rocks that have changed. So when you see rocks that look like this, all the different minerals, so rocks like this, once they're formed, they never turn back into liquid. They never turn back into the magma or anything like that. Instead, they stretch and bend like warm clay. Geologists have discovered that the crust of the Earth is not one solid piece. Instead, it's separate chunks called tectonic plates. And when these tectonic plates move slowly, they squeeze the rocks around them. When the rocks get caught between the tectonic plates of the Earth, they get squeezed and pushed high in the air. And look what it makes. What do you think that's called? Mountains, hills are created with all the movement. Metamorphic rocks usually form underneath these tall mountains where the squeezing and heating is the greatest. So igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. So let's look at these picture clues. The third type of rock is sedimentary rocks. Sediment is another name for tiny pieces of rock that have broken off from larger rocks. So like you may go outside and see some rock outside in the gravel or up on a hill, and you might like hit that rock and it might crumble and break into little pieces. Those are called sediments, the little tiny pieces. Sand grains, pebbles, and mud are all different sizes of sediment. Sediment is created when wind, water, and ice wear down the rocks at the surface of the earth. There's lots of sediment at the bottom of a lake, ocean, pond. What are these? Sedimentary rocks are sometimes found with leaves, seashells, or even dinosaur bones, fossils. When living things die, they get buried in sediment. it becomes the sediment pieces. If the conditions are right, they will turn into a fossil. So there are the 3 different types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary. So let's look at the rocks that I have and see what kinds they are. Get this cool box. Big box of cool rocks. Okay, you ready? This rock is called green slate. If I were to describe this rock, I would say it's very smooth. It looks like a cube or a rectangular prism. It's not bumpy. It's very smooth. Ooh, this is one of the kids' favorite rocks. This is called Obsidian. It is very shiny. You can see the light in it. It's also very smooth, but it has sharp points. It's very dark black. This one's fun. This is called red Jasper. It is very slick. Very smooth. Now, rocks can come in all shapes and sizes. They can be huge, they can be tiny. This little box I have just has little rocks in it. Rocks, minerals, and gems that we're going to learn about. Look at this one. Turquoise. Now look closely at it. It's got little tiny lines. It kind of looks like when you crack an egg, it makes all the cracks in it. It's kind of what it looks like. It looks cracked. But that's different minerals inside. This one's fun. This one's called yellow tiger eye. It's not really made from a tiger eye. It's also very smooth and shiny. Now here's some rough rocks. Oh, it is rough. This is called Pyrite. I feel like you would see more rocks like this than those shiny ones outside. It's very rough. It's got lots of edges. It looks like it's got gold in it because it is so shiny. Like when the light hits it, it is so shiny. Pyrite. Let's see if we can find some more rough ones. This one's rough. This is called pink granite, and it really looks like something I'd have out in my driveway. But this is called pink granite, and do you remember which type of rock granite is? Let's look. Igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary? Granite is an igneous rock. Now, how is this rock formed? How is it made? Igneous rocks are made from the magma coming from below the earth out of the volcano. When it's cooling, the lava that cools turns into rocks. Granite. Let's see what else we can find. Ooh, a Pumice Stone. Pumice. This is very light. Like it feels like there's nothing in my hand. The minerals in this rock are known for the abrasiveness. And what that word means is you might find in your mom's sink drawer a stone that looks like this. And what it's used for is you can scrape it on your skin and it'll take the dead skin off. A Pumice Stone. Very light. Like it's so much lighter than those. It feels like there's nothing in it. Let's look in this box. We have another Pumice Stone. We have another Obsidian. So we've got two of these very black, shiny ones. These are usually the kids' most favorite ones to touch and hold. And this one is called Coal, and it makes your fingers black. If you've ever heard of coal, you might have ever heard that Santa will put coal in your stocking if you're not good. So this coal, when you rub it, it turns your finger black. So that's a property of this rock that the others didn't have. Coal has minerals inside of this rock that come off on your fingers. It can get on your clothes. What's something coal is used for? I want you guys to figure that out. Quartz. You might find lots of these up on a bank, on a hill. Quartz rocks. This one's called Quartz Sandstone. So they have the same name, but they look different. They feel the same. They're both rough, very rough. So these are just some fun rocks for you guys to see. I think I have another box of rocks I need to find somewhere. Inside this box that had 6 rocks in it, it talks about igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. So let's look at the 2 igneous rocks.